I feel like I've experienced enough to curate enough wisdom to push forward. So here are some of the notes that I've taken. Because for the past few days, I've been sitting with some things. And they sat on my heart and they sat on my heart. And I want to talk about the difference between healing and performing healing. And I'm using that term because a lot of people talk about healing like it's an aesthetic, like it's just like an artwork, right? Like they got all this jargon. It's a vibe. They use it like a caption filter or a set of words to hide behind instead of really, really healing. Good evening. And real healing is actually very quiet. I don't even think you can really post it. You can't even barely explain the fuck out of it, let alone make beautiful posts from it. Because healing ain't it's a beautiful experience, but it's ugly. It can get downright messy, nasty. It's uncomfortable. And it's the moments where nobody's watching and you're actually sitting with your own truth. The parts that hurt, ache, the parts that you've avoided, the parts that you do not want to bring into the light. Performing healing is easy. You can read the books and you can sound real deep without touching anything real. You can post about energy and alignment and still not take any accountability. You can do it without taking accountability for how you treat people, how you move in the world, how you think about things. You can talk about growth while repeating the same behaviors in real life that got you stuck. And I'm saying that because let me tell you something. Love does not care what the fuck you read, what you know, what pastor you sit under, what guru you listen to, what your coach name is, nor your therapist. Because let me tell you something right now. Your therapist, your coach, your preacher, all going through the same shit. Just because you can read the book and you know all about the shadows in the cave, and you know about all the agreements, and you know about all of the philosophers' philosophies, you can know all about alchemy and attunement. But baby, when love shows up, love don't care what the fuck you know. Every wound you ever had is going to be open when real love shows up. And you have options. You can lean into the love, or you can create chaos with your fear. You got options. And this healing I'm talking about, it ain't even about literal healing. It's about your self-awareness and listening to yourself, listening to your body, listening to your heart, listening to your own mind. When you know who you are, it's harder to be manipulated. It's harder to be out there trying to bargain and prove, because you already know who you are. You know what you're capable of. And the love that you are feeling inside your body is the real love that you are experiencing. More times than not, it's not the person outside of you. I don't know what that feels like just yet. We shall see. Angie, we shall see. Anyway, that was too much. I did too much. Anyway, back to my notes because I went on a tangent. I felt that. Hold on. We're going to play that song back again, though, because, oh, well, that's okay. Yes. Performing healing is easy. Because you can sound deep without touching anything real, and you can post about energy and alignment and still not take accountability for how you treat people. You can talk about growth while still repeating the behaviors that keep you stuck. But healing asks something of you. It asks for honesty. It asks for self-responsibility. It asks for you to take a look at how your patterns show up in real time, not just in theory. Not just in theory. Not, oh, when I meet somebody, I'm just going to be this free, open, honest. You think love cares for a fuck about what the fuck you just wrote down on the affirmations? Love don't care. Love comes and the soul crawls. I promise you. What are you choosing? Healing is building an awareness around your self-sabotaging behavior. Some of us are avoidant. Some of us are anxious. Some of us are dismissive. Some of us are fearful. We all have our own shit. It ain't even really about the person in front of you. It's about what's going on inside of you. It's really legit about what's going on inside of you. Okay. Healing is when you stop pointing outward and start looking inward. It's about when you stop blaming life, lovers, childhood, zodiac signs, religion, society, the collective. You even stop blaming yourself. You just take a look at it. Because I know what I had to stop doing was saying, man, I done fucked up. I done messed up. I'm so hard on myself. I'm so hard on myself. Why? Isn't the world hard enough on you? You don't need to be hard on yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Be as gentle with yourself as you would with the person you love outside of your body. Be that gentle with yourself. Look at how much grace we give people. Look how much benefit of the doubt we give people. See, healing ain't pretty. When I sat and I thought about all the grace, all the gratitude, all the generosity, all of the chances, all of the money, all of the energy, all of the time that I gave, it never mounted to a hill of beans. Every single time I was handed my own ass to kiss and they asked to kiss and poof into the atmosphere as if it never mattered. One thing about a stud, we got to learn how to let other people invest into our relationships. That's something I learned in my healing too. See, when people invest, they're more likely to have an aptitude to want to keep that investment going. They want it to pour back. They looking for reciprocity. But if you're with someone that doesn't like reciprocity or doesn't like to give in any kind of way, it's time. And see, that's the part that we got to remember, right? When you're falling in love, you can't love somebody outside of you more than you love inside. And I know that's like one of those hopeless romantic terms. I love you more than I love myself. Don't you ever say that again. Because the moment you tell somebody that, they're taking advantage of you immediately. You love me more than you love yourself? Watch this. You love me more than you love God? Watch this. It's spiritual. You can't expect more to happen out here than is happening in here. This is the only person you were born into this body. You grew up in this body. You've been an adult in this body, and you still know more about what's going on outside of your body than you do inside. And I'm not talking about going to the doctor and getting a CAT scan or an MRI. I'm talking about, what is your mind doing? What is your heart doing? What is your soul saying? I've been in so many relationships where my soul was like, we got to go, Trey. We got to go. And, I was watching Big Bang Theory, and I watch it on repeat. And Rajesh was about to break up with his girlfriend, and he couldn't. The Wallowitz were trying to get Stewart out of their home, and they couldn't. Out of guilt. Guilt sometimes can be your worst enemy. That guilt ain't even yours. But when you start leaning on your own mind and your own heart, then and only then will you start making the right decision for yourself. Because more times than not, the person outside of you is doing exactly what the fuck they want to do. They following their gut. They following their soul. But if you were to follow yours, what would be the difference? You might save yourself a little time, a little money, have a little bit less resentment, maybe. Now, I'm not saying don't ever compromise with your peoples. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not even saying become an asshole authentically. Some people think authenticity means you just be an asshole, but that's not true. There's a way to be who you are and do what you want and not be cruel to those that love you around you. There's a way. Hey, not today. I'm not really feeling up to it today. Just yesterday, one of my favorite cousins needed me to come and do something. And I could have done it, but I had to take some things into account. One, I wasn't feeling very well. Something was going on in my throat. I don't know if I swallowed something and it scratched my trachea, but baby, I've been drinking tea for about 48 hours. I'm feeling better now. But at the time, I was like, wait a minute, I don't want to get them sick. And I also don't feel like moving. So the answer is just no. I didn't feel guilty because I had to do what was best for me. There's no need me going out there doing all that extra shit and then come time to go to work, I'm still sick. But I stayed in and I healed my body and I feel much better now. The old me would have rushed and put on clothes and rushed out there to do the thing and probably got everybody sick. Healing is about actually listening to what your body and spirit have been trying to tell you, because the phone call is coming from inside the house. Doesn't matter what Auntie and them said. It doesn't matter what the teacher said. The call is coming from inside the house. It's not what the people are doing around you. The call is coming from inside the house. It's not that they're mistreating you specifically, because people will mistreat you. That's not what I'm saying. But what you do with that is what matters. I can understand if you're in a situation, a financial bind, and you kind of got to stay with that person for a little longer, create a plan to get away. So all you got to do is start with a plan. Your spirit team ain't let you starve until this point. They won't let you starve after. Go somewhere else. Thank you, Pickled in Color. Thank you. Thank you. Go somewhere else. And I think I'm even speaking to past versions of myself just telling y'all that. I'm breaking generational curses just telling y'all that because I'm re-listening to it to myself. Sometimes you just got to make a plan to get away. God, spirit, universe saw fit for you to get this far. Keep going. You got one life. One shot. Now, back to the point. Healing versus performing healing. What I'm learning is that the difference is simple. Performing healing looks good to other people. It sound good. It sound catchy. It sound right. It sound good. Ew, yeah. But let me tell you what don't sound good. It don't sound good when I'm weeping and wailing in the middle of my floor. I don't show y'all the nasty bits. It don't sound good when I got a pint of ice cream in my hand. One hand. Cookies on the table. And a box of Kleenex to my right. I don't show y'all that. I don't show y'all when I take my mirror and I prop it up and I stare at myself trying to understand, how did we get here? I don't show y'all that. See, healing is more than just saging your house and hoping the spirits leave. Some of them spirits, again, the call is coming from inside the house. Because it's not always what they did, it's what you allowed sometimes. It's not always who they are. Sometimes it's what you'll put up with. Some of these things are tied to your dignity. And I know they say pride comes before the fall, but listen, when they start fucking with your self-esteem, your self-worth, listen, I said something in a video not too long ago. And that video, it actually came from months ago because I was just on my sofa and I had just finished weeping and wailing. And it came to me that my value is never really in question. I know who I am. Hey, peace and blessings, beautiful being. I know who I am. I know how I love. I know how I show up in my full chest, out, ready to love, ready to reciprocate, ready to give, ready to honor, ready to cherish, hold sacred. But when it's met with chaos, I gotta start being able to, in the midst of the love, still be able to say, love is not enough. I don't know if that's going to hold up, but I'm sure training myself to know that that is my truth. Love is not enough. I can love you all throughout eternity and lifetimes. But if you're going to mistreat me, if you're going to be cruel to me, if you're going to be mean to me, if you can't hold me in high esteem and high honor and high regard, I ain't asking you to tiptoe around my wounds, but I'm saying, can you give it to me a little smoother than you do? Real healing feels good to you. It's not performative. It's not pretty, but it feels good to you. Real healing feels steady and grounded. It's like coming home to yourself, but you don't need an audience. You don't need an audience for that. I don't need to come on here and be weeping and wailing. Now, y'all did see me weeping when I heard that song, because when I heard that song, that was actually my first time really hearing the song for real. But it was like my soul knew the words. That's why I was able to lip sync it like that. Those words fed me in a way like I felt seen through that song. Do y'all know what song I'm talking about? The one where it's called The Price of Peace. That thing hit me deep because, listen, I didn't walk away because I didn't love them, but I do have to walk away when I love myself more. So I want to talk about what healing really looks like. Not the Instagram version, not that poetic language that people hide behind or that spiritual jargon, but the lived experience with wisdom behind it. If somebody could have told me this, and let me tell you something about healing. I'm gonna tell y'all something real vulnerable. When I was in my 20s, baby, I was a young whippersnapper. You hear me? Doing sit-ups and push-ups for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But I was also a pothead, an alcoholic, abusive. I quickly took my ass to therapy. I've been healing since I was about 25. But really healing. Because you couldn't pay me to get into a loud argument with somebody right now. Fist fight? With this face? I think the fuck not. Thank you. You like my Harry Potter? That's my Harry Potter cup. What that thing say? Draco Dormins Nunquam Tidelandinus. Whatever. Harry Potter. So anyway. When you start healing, when you start truly healing, you start noticing certain things about yourself. You start paying attention to your reactions, your patterns, and when your body tightens, the way your body tightens or relaxes around certain people. Like you might contract around certain people, right? You start guarding your energy more. You start spending more time alone because it's peaceful there. And the price of that peace, you wanna hold on to it, right? You don't want to just be all willy-nilly with that shit, right? I'm not the type of person to have a bunch of people at my house, family or friends. A delivery person came to deliver a package and called me on my cell phone and asked me for the gate code. I said, hold on, I got to go to my desk and look it up because I don't fucking know it. I ain't used it. Don't nobody come over here. I got to look it up. I'm gonna have to put that shit in my phone just in case. I don't do all that extra people. I'd be mad when the maintenance people come. I'd be like, what the fuck y'all want? Ain't shit broken here. I ain't call y'all. But they have to do their little updates and shit. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. But anyway, when you start realizing what your patterns are, right? See, so I always have this thing when I'm in love, right? If love starts If I feel any shift in energy in how I'm experiencing my person, I used to jump straight into proving my value. I don't do that no more. Then I shifted into asking questions, asking the necessary questions. Asking the necessary questions. Communication, chef's kiss. Hey, you good, babe? You all right? Good morning, good evening, good pre-evening. How you doing? You want to talk? You need something you want to talk to me about? Now, the number one thing I know about my pattern that I've always known, because I have tunnel vision in relationship, right? I'm very faithful, loyal. So even if I catch myself with a drifting eye, I know it's time to go revamp something in my relationship. That don't mean I go check out what the fuck caught my eye for a second. It's time for me to go check in with babe. Hey, I think we need to go on a date. We need to go on a trip. We need to go do something together. And we need to, would you like to do that? That's my pattern. I don't know about all this. Let me go get get your needs met elsewhere. Why are we even don't waste my time. I'm monogamous as fuck. Don't waste my time. If somebody catch your eye and you go forward over there, you go deal with your guilty ass over there. Because you didn't come over here and try to fix nothing with me. But anyway, you start realizing, oh, this situation is draining me because this situation is not draining me because I'm broken. It's draining me because it's not aligned with who I'm becoming. You start noticing things like I remember being in my 30s, my early 30s, and that was when I was realizing that I couldn't really hang out with the same people because they were still drinking and doing all the foolishness. And I was like, I'm not who that same shift happens as you heal every time. Every time you have a dark night of the soul, you start realizing the people you can't deal with the same. You can't even date the same type of people. I'm just saying. And that's when the work gets real. Healing isn't about proving anything to anyone. It isn't about looking spiritually evolved. It's really not. It's messier than that. It's about telling the truth, even when the truth is I'm hurting or I'm scared or I overgave or I abandoned myself trying to love someone who isn't loving me back. That truth, we always want to be like, well, they didn't and they used and they abused. But baby, know your role. I overgave. I abandoned myself. I allowed myself to shrink. I stopped speaking up. If you got to stop speaking up because that person is going to flip the script, or if you can't speak your piece because they're going to deflect, if you can't say how you feel because it might make them nut up, baby, it's time to go. That's your cue. I remember trying to explain how I feel about a thing and being told, how dare you? What the fuck just happened? Whoa, I just had an opinion here. If you can't have all that, we ain't gonna make it. Anyway, and that's when the work gets real, because healing isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's not about looking spiritually evolved. It's about telling the truth, even when the truth is hurting, or I'm scared, or I overgave, or I abandoned myself trying to love someone who wasn't loving me back. Let's be honest. When people are able to use you like that, and hurt you, they're not loving you. Now, true, they may be stuck in their own pattern and doing whatever their triggers are making them do, but the only way to stop the cycle is to step away. Sometimes somebody can't even see what they're really doing until you step away. Excuse me. Have you ever been in a fist fight? If you've ever been in a fist fight, I remember being in a really bad brawl in high school. I didn't even know I was hurt until the fight was over, the adrenaline rush left, and There was blood dripping from my face because the girl had stabbed me with a pencil in my cheek. Same thing. You don't know how much and I don't even think she knew. But you don't know where the pain is until you come out of the anxiety. And when two people are in love and those wounds clash, you breeze by this wound, you breeze by that wound. Half the time what y'all arguing about ain't even what you arguing about. It's not about who didn't call who. It's not about who showed up late. It's not even about who overgave. It's what are your wounds causing you to sabotage? See, that one time we stop trying to overgive and overprove ourselves might be that one time that love actually does the work and shows up and comes back and be like, hey, I ain't mean for you to run away. I was just saying. You never know. Hey, I wouldn't know. Hey, listen, love come in and I lose my shit. I know me. I know me now. Love comes in. I be like, somebody came and took all my stuff. They ain't take it. I gave it to them. I gave it to them willingly because that's how I love. But instead of sitting with the resentments now, I want to go forward and realize when I'm not getting what I need, when my needs can't be met, when my voice can't be heard, when I need to shrink, I need to go no matter how much I love you because I always got to be loving me more. Now, I want to explore more about what it means to do the work, the quiet work, the grounded work, the honest work, and how to recognize when someone is just performing healing versus actually sitting with themselves. Okay? Healing with honesty and not aesthetics. We just talked about a little bit of that, right? That's when you start looking at what's really going on, right? I put up that post about how I realized there's a belief system inside of me that was deeply ingrained from family to love the people and stay in connection with people that terrify me, right? And I'm talking all sorts of abusers, molesters, rapists, physical offenders. Love them anyway. That's your family. That's your blood. Do y'all know what that teaches children? Do you know what that turns into adulthood? You really think that love includes pain. It includes being disrespected. And when nobody around you knows the difference, you got to go learn it. I had to go learn it. I had to go learn it. Because I couldn't figure out where was I going wrong here. I'm being faithful and being loyal. Yeah, to all the wrong people. I'm not being faithful and loyal to myself. All the things I said I didn't want to be a part of, I keep ending up in. But it's not even that I'm ending up there or even that this person really is the thing. It's that when I start feeling the things that are provoking me to be the people pleaser, to be the person that has to prove my value. First of all, they already know your value because they found you. I can't tell you how many women find me. I don't go looking for nobody. They come find me. They pick me up and they drop me off. Because listen, they can see my value. That light is bright and they want some of it. The problem is every time they come, they don't quite know how to handle that love that I have. Because my love is intense without being chaotic. My love is intense without being toxic. And a lot of people just not really ready for that. And that's okay. The problem with me was I didn't know how to navigate that very well because, they just having a bad day. Well, then a bad day turns into a bad fucking year. And now I've still sat here waiting on you to have a better day. It's time that we just start standing on our own too and getting the fuck on early. You're hindering your own healing and theirs by sticking around and making them think that shit is okay. If you already can't even speak up and say your piece, Why are you sticking around? I have to ask this to myself. I'm not really posing this to you, but this is what we do. We stick around and we try to prove our value to people that knew our value when they found us, because the value and the worth is what brought them in. The problem is, it wasn't a mask. This is really who you were. And they didn't expect that. So now they don't even know how to hold you. They don't know how to see you without feeling some kind of way about what's going on inside them. And sometimes it's real subtle. It's real like layered, and it's in the shadows. They don't even really know it right away. It takes time for a person to be able to see themselves with honesty. You know, there was a time in my 20s where when the honesty really started to hit me of what I had become, you know, damn, I'm not getting very far in my career. Damn, I'm not really getting very far in these relationships. What's going on? And when I really, thanks, Keon. When I really started taking the deeper look at myself, there was one relationship that when I took a hard look at myself, I couldn't do nothing but break in half, cry, and damn near die, because I was like, I can't even believe I treated that girl so bad. And I reached out and I apologized and I tried to make it right. She allowed it. We couldn't be together no more, but that's what real healing looks like. Real healing looks like, damn, I didn't mean to do that. That was my triggers. That was my wounds. And I didn't mean for my wounds to affect you like that. I'm so sorry. It's that simple. It sounds simple, but it's really not, because I really broke in half before I could go do that. Inside your body, healing feels like this grounded, steady, clear way of being. It's like there's no more fog. There's no more rose-colored glasses. You really start seeing who you are and what you are on a deeper level. You start seeing how special and unique you are, because each one of us is special and unique, right? I even go through these bouts where I think I'll trick myself into thinking I can't get a wife because I'm fat. But listen, you ever watch 600 Pound Life? Who you seen on there that was single? These people eating because they love to. And the people that love them love to feed them. It's somebody for everybody. So it ain't that. It's deeper than that. But knowing what's going on in your body is important. But what performing healing looks like, it's that spiritual jargon to avoid accountability, right? They start coming up with labels to excuse their behavior. For example, and I ain't trying to point at nobody, but anybody in here poly? Has anyone in here ever dated anyone that's poly? If you've ever dated someone who's poly, they come with all these rules and regulations and agreements, which really just sound like ethical cheating. It's a way of cheating where you can't check them on nothing because I'm single. I can do what I want to do. That's not the life I want to live. That's not for me. That's not for me. That's using spiritual jargon and emotional wellness jargon to cover up what's really being done. It's not my life. It's like me saying, how can I make this clear? I'm a barber and I do hair for a living. I'm a barber. But it's like me saying, I'm not going to be able to shave you. No, I can't even come up with nothing because I do everything in barber. I don't know, but it's kind of hard to really explain. But it's like they use the jargon to shift the blame, like the 4 agreements that one says, if someone ever tells you that you hurt them, don't believe them because it's a wound inside of them that's already there. Well, that would be true if you weren't doing something to actually hurt the person. You knew it would have hurt you if it had happened to you, but you're willing to do it to them, then that's on you. Sometimes you create new wounds and the person don't even know what it is because they've never experienced it. Me too, Mari. Me too. I don't want shell. Listen. I had to alchemize a way to share my partners with their own children because listen, I know they need you today, but can you come get in this bed? You know what I mean? I'm I'm being facetious, but yeah, I'm too selfish to be poly. It's not for me. It's not the life I want to live. Yeah, but they use spiritual language to avoid accountability. Kind of like, and a lot of people use, never mind, I'm not going to say that. That's too much. They use it to shift blame. Whew. People who perform it, right? They shift blame, they move goalposts, and they talk about energy instead of behavior. They use spiritual jargon instead of naming what they really have seen in themselves. There's no real reflective language, right? They can't really own it, or they're embarrassed or shameful about it. I'm not shameful about my healing. I am a human being and I am not perfect. It's some shit I've done and said and been in my past, and all my versions of self. Half the shit that I did wasn't even my fault. It's because of the wounds that somebody else gave me. What I do with that information is what makes me. Yeah, they did the thing. What did I make of it? How did I alchemize that? How did I transmute and empower myself? I'm not going to sit down here at the bottom of the fucking totem pole because they decided to hurt me. The devil sent you to take me out. I'ma let him. Ooh. It's going back to the list. Ooh. See, I overgave and I overexplained, but I was really loving from a genuine place. Do you know what that's like? It's like you really just want these people to see who you are. Just, please, sir, some more. We be reaching for that original mask that we've run into, right? That masked person that we thought they were, and we keep trying to prove to them that, hey, it's okay, it's safe here. Da, da. A person is not gonna feel safe with you until they feel safe in themselves. They got to know that they know what the fuck to do. They can't listen. I'm aiming to be so safe in myself that you can lose your shit right in front of me. Are you done self-sabotaging now? Come here, babe. Have a seat. Let's talk. But I need to be with somebody that can handle that kind of conversation. Right? What's up, fam? How you doing, cuzzo? I want to be with somebody that can handle that kind of conversation. Hey, I think you're a little triggered right now. Do you need a break? Let's take like 30 minutes and come back to this conversation. But someone who pretends to heal, they can't do something like that, right? Because they don't even know what the fuck you talk about. What you mean I'm triggered? Do you see how loud your voice is right now? Do you know how many names you just called me? Do you know how much blame you just put on me and all I was doing? Anyway, it takes emotional intelligence. Yes, it does. But that's a lived experience, right? My nervous system, when I was healing, I noticed my nervous system had to readjust to silence. It had to readjust to peace. And it had to readjust to the lack of cortisol. But I really didn't have time to feel lonely. How do I explain that? Like, I don't think I've ever felt lonely on this journey. I have been alone, but I ain't never felt lonely. Lonely as in yearning for companionship. I'm single, not desperate. You feel me? Like, I'm cool. You know what I be yearning for? To come back to my apartment. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I leave here to go to the grocery store, to work, to my mama's house, listen, I'll get to that front door and I look back at my apartment and I say, bye, apartment. I'm gonna see you in a little bit, Kay. I miss you. Take good care of yourself. and I leave. And the whole time I'm out, I'm rushing to get back here. And because it's wintertime and the sun go down early, baby, I be trying to get here before it's dark. Yes, it forces you to be still. When self really ready to heal, you'll be still. You'll sit in the quiet. Thank you for that. Real healing wants to sit in the quiet. Y'all notice I go live, but not often. There was this notion I had that I was going to go live all the time. I was just going to be like watching TV with y'all and cooking with y'all. Baby, I have needed that time and space. Yes, it's still important. Yes, it's still a part of my purpose. Yes, I do still like to laugh and have fun with y'all. Yes, I do. And listen to music. I do. But baby, I was more important. It was more important that I get down on that floor and I do some yin yoga and scream and holler. It was more important that me and that box of Kleenex became intimate. It was more important that me and my journal entries got more intertwined. Real healing, baby. My nervous system. Let's go back to my nervous system. My nervous system, there were so many changes in my body. My body was responding to the peace. In some ways, now, some ways I don't even want to talk about online, but my body adjusted to the peace where it just kind of like, and it's so relaxed that I can't see putting myself in the middle of nobody's storm. A motherfucker could call me right. I'm going to be so chill. And I have done it. I have coached a whole couple yelling and screaming on the phone. And I have learned dissonance in keeping my peace that I was still able to coach them. Raising hell on the phone. Hey, so triggered in the motherfucker. Hey, yeah, so are you going to listen? Oh, you're still... I was able to separate my trigger from what was going on because they're not doing it on purpose. They're just living their lives and they're yelling at each other. But I'm on the phone and I'm being triggered by the chaos. But I was able to put my chaos to the side. That's something I learned for a relationship purposes, but it's helping me in coaching. It's helping me be able to coach a person without my triggers becoming involved. Right? So now I'm not yelling and screaming with them, and now I'm not self-sabotaging the call. But that wouldn't have been able to really, I wouldn't have been cognizant of it until peace became a way of living. I insist on keeping my peace, so I'm not going to let y'all rattle me. I will dissect this trigger later, but for right now, I'm going to stay present. Okay. My nervous system actually speaks before my mind can catch up. Do you know what that feels like? My nervous system will speak before my mind can catch up. That's intuitive, right? That's getting into, this person is really attractive. Oh, they so sexy. Oh my God, they're doing all these loving things. And you forget your wits. Right? And they slip in through the cracks. Your protective mechanisms skipped all those red flags. All flags are green. And now you're there. But your body is doing something. Right? Now you have options. Conversations that can be had. You can obey your intuition, or you can give them the benefit of the doubt again. I'm just saying. I'm leaning on intuition. As long as my intuition ain't kicking and screaming, we can go forward. But the second my intuition go, hey, take another look. The call is coming from inside the house. Your soul knows what you can and can't. In here, your heart of hearts, your real you, knows what you can and can't handle. You just want to press forward because you like the person. You just want to press forward because they're so cute. You just want to press forward because it looks like a dream. You want to press forward because it looks like hope. It looks like a future. But is it? Do they seem steady, stable? I no longer respond to chaos. When you know someone's actually doing the work, they know how to say, I was wrong. I'm so sorry. I was wrong. They need to be first able to say it to themselves. I was wrong for that. I shouldn't have. They notice their own patterns and not just the patterns of the people around them. Well, my mom said, and my daddy said, and my cousin went, and no, what is your own, when they did the thing, what did you do? What was your soul's response? What did you physically do? What did you mentally do? Did you go into a state of self-deprivation? Did you go into the stages of overgiving? What do these things prompt you to do? See, we always think it's because the person is avoidant or the person is a narcissist or the real problem, the call is coming from inside the house. What was your response to the behavior? And I know that's easier said than done. But can you remember what we talked about? The call is coming from inside the house. So do you know what these triggers cause you to do? Do they prompt you to start overgiving? There you go. Do they prompt you to start silencing yourself to keep the peace? I know every time I start trying to tell them I don't like that shit, here we go with the bullshit. I'm just not even going to say nothing to let them do it. Maybe one day they'll stop. They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop. You can try that, but it's going to end the same way every time because you're trying to keep the peace by being quiet. And all peace ain't quiet and all quiet ain't peaceful. Speak your truth. Be honest with them and yourself. And if it crumbles, allow it. Hey, Monica, if it crumbles, allow it. That means it's a misalignment. That means it wasn't as meant to be as you think it is. You can't keep forcing it. I know when I used to hear people saying, you're forcing the relationship, don't force the relationship. I used to think that meant forcing two people to, like I'm forcing it together by different means. But when I really took a step back and saw what that meant for me, that means I'm spending more money, spending more time, spending more energy, giving more love in a place that doesn't even require it because they don't really recognize, acknowledge, honor, or hold sacred any of these things coming from me. They're saying cruel things. They have cruel behavior. They not loyal. They not honoring me. But I'm going to keep on trying because if they could just see me, baby, they saw you. They just can't hold you. They saw you. They know who you are. They know how pure your love is. But they also know they don't have what it takes to hold it. Sometimes it's their own guilt and shame. Sometimes it's their own traumas. Whatever it is, the moment we show them any kind of, you can run me over with a tractor trailer truck and I'm going to still stay right here, that's what they're going to keep doing. They're going to keep sending you through the ringer and they just going to keep on doing it because you keep on staying and coming back. You don't ask or require changed behavior. You just keep on coming back. Because somehow they've tricked you into thinking it's about you and your behavior and your self-worth and your value and your skills and your mindsets and your belief systems. But really the whole time, it was their own insecurities. Think about it. Think about all the relationships you've been in where you were only good to the person. You ever had those conversations with your friends? Man, I was only good to them, man. And I remember even saying things like, man, there's people out here cheating, wheeling and dealing, having babies on bitches. It's out here stealing from women. They out here drinking their kids' Capri Suns and playing PlayStation. Ain't even look for a job. Ain't got 5 pennies to rub together, wear the same 2 pair of drawers, and you gonna dump me? Well, Let them. Let them. I'm no longer harboring somebody else's shame, guilt, and or insecurities and making it my problem or my burden. I know I love from a pure, faithful, loyal, sacred space. If you can't see it, that's on you. That's my new mantra. If you can't see it, that shit on you. Because, baby, listen, I'm good at this thing, and I know I am, but I got to manage these triggers. Got to be aware of my pattern. My pattern is if you pull away, I lean in forward. Hold up. I ain't Michael Jackson, bitch. I don't know if y'all caught that, but in my head, I saw Michael Jackson with the shoes and he bent forward. Baby, listen, I'm no longer bending. I will lean into love. I will lean into respect. I will lean into sacredness and honor, but I'm not going to lean into chaos. I'm not going to do it anymore. No. If you can't value me, my time, my core values, my efforts, my energies, what are we doing here? That's what my healing showed me. My healing showed me it ain't really been about who I've been choosing. It's been about what is happening to me when that pattern kicks in, because I don't know if you know this or not, but our attachment, do I have it up here? The attachment styles matter. There's a dance that happens between avoidance and anxious. I happen to have disorganized attachment now, so I vary depending on what I'm dealing with. But I don't think I've ever really truly, the only avoidance I have is conflict avoidant. I don't like conflict. If it's got to get loud, if it's got to get violent, I don't dwell there well. Talk to me like an adult. We got a problem, we can talk about it. You ain't got to yell, berate, criticize. You could just talk to me like a grown-ass motherfucking woman, bitch. You ain't got to do all that, because that's my own. It's a thing, right? You could just talk to me. I'm not your child. I'm not your employee. And I don't know why you would be talking to your employees like that either, or your children. But I've literally had people talking to me in ways that I have never even heard them speak to their own children with, and their children was really fucking up. Wait a minute, why are you talking to me like that? What the fuck? I know it was all a test. That was just really spirit trying to see, did you really heal? I healed. I didn't yell back. Nothing happened. I just wanted to ask, who are you talking to? Anyway. I'm just saying. Yeah, when they do the blame shifting, it kind of, when they're shifting the blame, like let's just say, hey, I noticed you turned your location off yesterday and you kind of just didn't text me for about 2 hours. What happened? And they go, why you always, baby, wait, hold up. I ain't blaming you. I ain't saying you did nothing, but you really acting like you did something. Say something like that to him, and that'll shut him the fuck up, I bet. See, when you know your patterns, you know you get into anxiety when they start shifting that blame on you. But when you know you really don't, you ain't aiming to catch them. You ain't aiming. I just want to know. It was odd. It was off. It was out of the ordinary. We have a routine, or, I don't know what it is about people when we step out of routines. That's another part of the healing journey, I believe. I don't care if somebody steps out of the routine, but when you do something, let's think about that now. iPhone has given us these extra coordinates with the location device, right? So now, if we share location and you turn it off for a certain amount of time, the other person's probably going to feel insecure about that. But you got to be prepared for that, right? I think I would be prepared for that. Hey, if my shit went out for a little while, I have all the answers you need, babe. You ain't got to yell at me. I'm not finna blame you for asking me. I don't have a problem with reassuring my partner. I don't know why. I get why people have a problem reassuring their partner. They don't want the blame that they already feel guilty for. That's what I feel. Because I know I'm not doing nothing to make myself feel guilty about. So if you ask me a question, I'm just going to answer it. Shit, might even have receipts so you can see exactly what the fuck I was doing. I'm not finna be pushing nobody into no state of anxiety. Moving goalposts. Oh, today they would only feel loved if you brought them their favorite cup of coffee. That's a love language to them. 2 weeks from now, you bring them 2 cups of coffee that week and it did nothing for them. But they forgot to tell you that no longer is a love language. That bullshit, keep me abreast of what shifts in you. Talking about energy instead of behavior. Yeah. Those people talking about I match energy. Why would you match negative energy? If I love you, I'm not trying to match your negative energy. I'm trying to stay calm, cool, collected, so I can respond to you from a level head. Steadiness. I want to be able to respond to you in a steady way. I'm not trying to meet you up there. I'm trying to meet you down here in the middle, common ground. And I will stay here until you calm down. Now, you ever been with somebody that you stay here and they just keep going here? That shit's strange to me. Because why you don't love me at all, do you? You just aggravating and frustrating the fuck out yourself? For what? That's some weird shit, boy. Anyway. Moving right along. Lost my place. Yes, when they're actually doing the work, they know how to say I was wrong. They notice their own patterns. They don't hide behind poetry or concepts. Their behavior changes, not their vocabulary. Ooh, that's a good one. The vocabulary. See how have y'all noticed the difference between me and most gurus? Gurus come in and they start talking like oracle. They start talking like oracle and tarot cards. Your throat chakra needs to be aligned with your third eye. And you need to be thankful and grateful, Ashe to Oshun. Do you notice how I'm just talking to y'all in English? Not expecting you to have to decode this shit. It don't need to sound pretty. Healing ain't pretty. Healing ain't pretty. That shit was ugly as hell. It was nasty. It was dirty. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. But baby, going through it, them dark nights of the soul, baby, they ain't nothing to play with. This ain't Granny's healing when we sweep it under the rug and we just let that shit ride. No, we going all the way through, not around. We're not trying to swim past it. We're not trying to dig around it. We're not trying to, okay, that's done. We're not doing that anymore. Real healing asks you to sit with yourself without distractions. So I noticed a couple times in previous moments, I would have quickly rushed out to have a space filler, a void filler, somebody to fill in the blank. Especially once my worth has been challenged, right? Because damn, somebody gonna make me feel love. But you know what? It wasn't until I realized it has nothing to do with my value why these people are doing these things. They're doing these things because of whatever's going on inside of them. It ain't got nothing to do with me. But what am I doing? Hurting myself by going out here looking for somebody to take a space up. And no, I no longer want a space filler. I want something real. I want it to be real. It's not a game. Now, you're going to have to sip me slow like a fine wine. Let this chocolate ferment. But when I show up with my full chest out. It's listening to your body's reactions. You ever get a phone call from somebody and your stomach drop? You probably need to hang up. I'm just saying, you probably get off that, because you already know your intuition and already told you they want something. They need, what do they need now? Because people don't typically call you just to say, hey, how you doing, right? No, they calling because they want something. Can you? Could you? Do you have? Can I borrow? Can you take me? Listen to your body's reactions. Or how about, never mind, because that's probably next level, because I've sat through conversations where someone tried to be so purposefully confusing that I had no idea what the fuck my nervous system was doing. I was like, should I be upset? I don't even fucking know. What the hell did she just say? Like, those were the moments that intuition was like, why are we here? Full acceptance in your reflection is taking responsibility for what you allowed without blaming yourself for what someone else did. You ever met someone who's been sexually assaulted? Sexually assaulted persons, I know people will automatically think because the woman has on high heels and a short skirt, it's her fault. It's not her fault what they did. No, nothing gives another person the right. It's the same thing in relationship. Just because you didn't meet their expectation does not give them the right to misuse and or abuse you. And love is not going to misuse and abuse you. Love is going to tend to you. See, I want to be in a loving relationship where we can heal together. We ain't got to separate to do it. We ain't got to goddamn fight about it. You go in your corner, I go in mine. Let's meet back here in 30 minutes and talk about it. Process. You want to process together? We can process together. But no, never again. Never again. But take your responsibility for what you did, how you self-sabotage, how you show up, what your triggers cause. Own it so you can rewire and reframe it. Put them glasses on so you can reframe. It's not about fixing. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing broken in you. You just need to rewire and reframe how you deal with people outside of your triggers with the wounds. There's no real healing. There's no, you had surgery on your soul and you healed and you can walk out in the world tomorrow and just be perfect. It's not real. You have to just build an awareness. Healing is awareness. I am aware that when I hear people yelling, my ass goes, everything turn red. What can I do aside from that? Can I disassociate for a minute so I can stay present? Can I take some deep breaths? Can I tap my chest, tap my head? What can I do? Find a new autopilot. Rewire. This is a big one. Choosing peace over adrenaline. You know, we tend to fall into the trap of good chemistry. Right? That familiar, you feel like home without knowing what home really means deep down, right? For me, deep down, home was not exactly the most peaceful place. So if a person feels like home, that's not necessarily where I want to be at. I need you to feel like a motherfucking vacation. That's my rewire. Hey, Dallas, how you doing, Nikki? I need somebody to feel like a breath of fresh air, not old air. Not the air I've already breathed. Not the air I grew up breathing. I need you to feel like a vacation, not home. If you feel like home, I'm going away. Now, I'm saying that, but at the same time, I'm rewiring what home feels like. Home should feel like a vacation. Home should feel like sage and incense and fucking Febreze. It should feel like comfort, not chaos. But that's mine. I don't know what yours is. Maybe yours is different. I don't know. Hey, Deidre. So what I've learned is that my love is real, but love alone, it's just not enough. Excuse me. Love is not enough to maintain connection. I can love you dearly. Ask some family members of mine. I love them dearly. Ask them when's the last time they seen, heard from me. I can love you like nobody on the planet has ever loved you. I can be madly in love. I can miss everything about you. But from now on, if I don't feel safe with you, that connection is shattered. I don't feel comfortable and I'm not going forward. We be fighting our body, our soul, and our intuition, connecting with people that we don't feel safe with for the sake of love. And I know I do it because I was trained, I was raised, I was bred to do it. It was a deep-rooted belief system that it doesn't matter how much they terrify you, how much they hurt you, you should love them and be next to them and stand next to them and do for them anyway. Not no more. That's the most toxic trait I think I've ever had. Staying in places where they just mistreat you. They just treat you like shit. Even a boxer don't just stand there and take the punches. They bob and they weave. Why you not bobbing and weaving? I had to ask myself that. So I'm asking you, why we not bobbing and weaving? Don't just stand there and get your ass knocked out. Bob and weave. Get the fuck out the way. I'm leaning into my whole Pisces chart. What do old girl say? I don't remember her name, but she's always doing the traits of the signs, and she'll tell you that a Pisces, when they get fed up, they'll stick around and they'll hang in there. I'm a Pisces, by the way, if you didn't know, but they'll stick around and they'll hang around until they get fed up, and then meow. They murk their ass. I will murk and don't look back. Won't look back. Fuck Trago. Child. Healing ain't pretty. Another thing that I've learned is that you can't heal someone that will not and will refuse to look at themselves. If you can't even see, let alone see from my perspective, but if you can't even see yourself, how are you looking at me? I am Pisces. I am all of the zodiac. That might be too much for people to handle. Okay, so relationship alone is a mirror. It's a reflection. We're all connected. If your partner is a reflection of you, what do you want reflected back at you? Healing ain't pretty. What do you want reflected back to you? You know, I was with someone once where it was the perfect reflection. I was being shown exactly who I was. But it was on, she was a Pisces, I was a Pisces. We loved intensely and very much the same. And we were both very giving, both very generous, both very poetic, both very hopeful, romantic, and both still madly in love with somebody else. We tried. Oh, we tried. But baby, that was the first time I ever saw myself, my true reflection in a person. But then I had to have my wound reflections from another person. And that took some doing, because healing ain't pretty. We tried though. We tried. And And I think if we had really, and I'm gonna just say me, because I know it was me. If I had leaned into my intuition and obeyed my intuition, I'd be a happily married woman to this day. I know I would have with that Pisces woman. But I didn't lean on my intuition. I leaned on love. Anyway, moving right along. Oh, yes. And I'm becoming the person I needed when I was 20 years old. When I was 20, baby, that young whippersnapper was something else. She was doing a lot, too much. Healing in a relationship begins when you stop abandoning yourself. Absolutely, Nisi, absolutely. I've learned that I deserve a relationship where my love is actually received. Not just offered, but received and reciprocated, right? It's a whole nother world when you find yourself just giving. Sometimes I would find myself giving, waiting on somebody to see that I've been given here. And when I say giving, don't get it twisted. I'm not just talking about just handing over gifts and money. I'm talking about showing up. I'm talking about meeting the person where they are. I'm talking about listening and agreements and commitment and devotion. I'm talking about the energy, the time. And I'm just waiting on them to show up. And I've given grace and forgave. Given grace. And until my dignity had dwindled all the way down to what the fuck is left of me. And I had to snatch up what was left of me. And I had to go put it in this sacred space and protect what was left and blossom from that one little mustard seed of what was left of me, what I didn't allow to shrink in me. The part of me that loved to laugh and dance and write, the part of me that liked to create, the part of me that liked to love, pure, free, open, chest wide open, out. Healing ain't pretty. Healing is more than just some pretty fucking words. It's more than labels. Healing is listening to yourself. Healing is understanding that the call is coming from inside the house. Healing is recognizing and acknowledging it ain't always about what the fuck everybody else doing. It's what you're doing to you. You know, a part of my healing this week. So for like a little while there, I just kind of gave up on going to the fitness center. It got real cold outside. I had ice cream and cookies that became my new ministry. But that was really me being gentle with myself. It was me comforting myself when I needed it the most, right? Now, I still managed to only gain 10 pounds instead of 30 because I did it with a modicum of generosity and respect for my actual goals. So it's not like I sat over here and I just gained all this goddamn weight. No, that's not what happened. But I did give in to the comfort because I deserved it. My nervous system needed it. And I wanted it. Just to see what it was like to just be kind to myself for a period of time. In that time of gentleness, I realized I need to be handled gently by others. And if I can't be handled gently by others, then they don't need to be in my sphere. They don't need to be in my orbit. If you got to come with cruelty and disrespect and dishonor, that's not going to work in my orbit. And the moment I peep it, I gotta release. There's not enough love in this world anymore. The way I have fallen in love with myself, to allow somebody else to come and tear it down. And I know love comes and the soul stirs and we want it so bad sometimes. But I promise you, if you take that time to do the self-reflection, the price of the peace, the price of the love, it'll pay for itself. Fuck the jargon. Forget about all that spiritual rhetoric. It's really about listening to the call that's coming from within. But anyway, I was getting to the point of, before I start crying, the other day I realized a part of this journey in this era of Trey is keeping promises to myself, right? There's so many times, and I'm talking about from childhood all the way down to the first Nintendo. How many promises have been broken outside of this body? How many times were we going to Disneyland and didn't go? How many times were we getting married and didn't get married? How many times did the promise get broken outside of me? Well, Trey, how many times did the promises get broken inside of me? When we gonna stop breaking them promises? I promised I would become a writer. I've written several things, haven't published a damn thing. That's coming. I promised I would be a coach. Coached my first couple last week. I promised myself that I would be fine as wine by 50. I'll be 48 next month. I want to be fine then too. So tonight I'm going to have sweet potatoes and ground beef. We're not going to be having, okay, nachos and stuff. Thank you, Fem John. When do we start keeping the promises to self? See, what I'm learning through the healing is that you get treated by others how you really treat yourself. We really want to be doing this, but that term, when you do this, is 4 pointing right back at you. Well, it's really 3 and 2 going this way. But they say the 4. I don't know why they say 4. But all these, I'm not eating no ground turkey meat. I don't like it. I barely want the ground beef. Don't do that. Don't do that. Anyway. I'm not eating no goddamn ground turkey. Anyway. We keep doing this. Yeah, maybe the other person's real shitty. Maybe the other person needs to heal, but that's not your burden. What do you do when you acknowledge that? You keep on going. Now, y'all not even doing it hand in hand. Y'all not healing together. Y'all not processing together. They went this way and you went this way. Or they tried to chop your head off. Or they deflected or they projected. They shifted the blame right back to you. What did you do? Did you stick around and say, hey, I just love you and I just want to be here? And then, for what? In this day and age, people's famous words is, you're my best friend and I just want to be friends. First of all, if we were ever lovers, we cannot be friends. What'd that look like? Especially if it's fresh. What'd that look like? You used the fuck out of me while I was sitting here as your lover. You think you finna use me as your bit? Bye. Bye. No, ma'am, Pam. Plus, my wife ain't gonna stand for that shit, and I don't want a wife that would. I don't want one that would. Now, I'm not saying that there needs to be all these insecurities. I think that's just an unnecessary insecurity. It's unnecessary. I know it's like a double standard, but, you know, typically we already got to deal with baby daddies. We shouldn't have to deal with baby mamas and it's 2 mamas. You feel me? Unless y'all did the IVF together, then that's different. But I don't know why we're being forced to deal with, well, she's still my friend, but we used to date. How long did y'all date? 20 years? The fuck? No, y'all just taking a break. That's what it's going to feel like, so why do it? It's becoming more of who I actually am. That's what it feels like. It feels like an authentic part of myself is actually showing up. My yes and my no are equal. Neither one comes with explanations. No. End of sentence. Yes. End of. You didn't question my yes. Don't question my no. And it didn't need an audience. Again, I didn't need y'all to see me on the floor doing yin yoga day after day. Y'all didn't need to witness me eating pints of ice. Well, it wasn't really a pint. It was a couple scoops of the pint of ice cream. Y'all didn't need to witness me gain the 10 pounds. You didn't need to witness the Kleenexes. You didn't need to witness the prayers. You didn't need to witness all the saging. You didn't need to witness me doing one laundry load at a time, feeding myself one meal at a time, coaching myself out the bed in the morning. Healing is ugly. It's messy, but it's a beautiful experience if you do it. It feels like coming home to myself. It feels like I'm finally comfortable in this body, in this mind. I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. My worth and value was never in question. They knew what they had. They just didn't have what it took to hold it. And that's okay. I don't even fault nobody that couldn't hold me, because all you did was make room for what was for me. Because what's for me, see, I feel like there's this promise on me. That ain't none of y'all business. That's my business. I feel like there's this, I just feel like they do love to say you crazy. They love to say you're crazy. They love to say you're damaged. They love to say you're wounded. They love to say you're too hurt. They love to say you got too much trauma. But baby, let me tell you something. Show me one human being without trauma, and I'm going to show you somebody that needs therapy. And I'm going to tell you, that video that I posted, there's some truth in it. There are therapists. My therapist even said, it's kind of hard to know what I would do with a narcissist, since they don't typically come to therapy, and when they do, they lie. Their victims come to therapy. Narcissists go straight to therapy, full on mask. Super convincing and charming. You ever gone to couples therapy with somebody and just got hit with the whoop de whoop? Like, whoa, where'd that come from? I remember being in couples therapy with someone. I was engaged to this person. This was years ago. Engaged to this person. And we started couples therapy, and we sitting there on the intake, and shorty just went left. I was like, none of this is true. But the trigger that I was in allowed her to say it. It was like, I'll just let her, just let her do whatever. Because I wanted to be married so bad. It's fine, whatever she said. It's fine. It's true. Yeah. Then when we had our individual sessions, I just was like, Doc, I don't know what to do. And the doctor said, you need to leave. They're not going to do any work. They don't think they need to do any work. And you need to leave. I stayed. Don't ask that. This was years ago. I stayed even though the therapist told me to leave. I stayed until I couldn't stay no more. And it is what it is. But I'm talking about, I sat there and I listened to her. I'm sitting right next to her, and she still sat there and told bold-faced lies. And I don't really call them lies, because if this is her perception, I'm going to honor it, right? Damn, you see it like that? I don't remember doing that shit, but okay. Because everybody has their own perception, right? I'm going to honor your perception. I mean, she was dead wrong for doing it, but I didn't realize that until later when the healing started, right? But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk. Healing versus performative healing. Some people are really good. I mean, let's be honest. Love does not care what the fuck you know. It doesn't matter if you got the oracle cards. It doesn't matter if you got the tarot cards. It don't matter if you got all of the psychology. It doesn't matter even if you read the Bible. Let me tell you something. When love comes, the only preparation you have is a healed heart, a healed soul, a rewired mind, and high hopes that you can acknowledge what your patterns are. What do you do when love starts not looking like love anymore? Do you try to force it into being love by giving more, showing up more, loving them more, but your needs aren't being met, in high hopes that one day they'll see you and they'll give back to you. That's a wound doing that to you. That's a wound causing you to stay anyway. It's acknowledging and becoming aware that you ain't gotta stay and you don't need to prove. Just be. The same way you accept them for who they are, for everything, all, and we call it flaws and all for a reason. They're not even real flaws. You just have accepted this person for everything that they are. You ever been like that? I have loved somebody for every element of part of their person. I couldn't find a thing that I could complain about them for real. Like I loved them down to their dirty drawers. If you have done that, then you know that it is possible to be loved that way. You're not experiencing love outside of your body. Your body is creating it. It's emanating from you. It exists in you. So if you know that you are capable of that, imagine what it would be like to meet somebody that can meet you there. They're not overly critical. They're not berating you. They're not down on you. They're not judging you based on what you've been through or what's in your pocket or what kind of trauma you have. They're not even really mad about how you self-sabotage. They just, that's nice, babe. Come here, sit down, talk to me. Come on, let's talk about it. The way that you love, you deserve to be loved. And it's possible. The only thing is you got to know what your patterns are. Your patterns are directly related pretty much to attachment theory. Your trauma, your wounds. What are your wounds doing in you? What happens when they start pulling away? What happens to you? What do you start doing? When you feel like they're cheating, what do you start doing? When you feel like they on the way out the door, what do you start doing? Stop doing that. Honor yourself. It's important. That's what real healing looks like. You're in full acceptance of self. You acknowledge self. You're reflective. You acknowledge where you could have done something differently. You can apologize. You can give grace specifically to yourself. You can know your role in things, in the patterns. Some people, they just can't do it. And we have to be in acceptance of that too. But you don't have to love them up close. You can love them from way over there. And just be gentle while that love subsides. And let it just do its thing. I have family members right now, I can't even look them in the face because, baby, I've been and went to jail. It's best I love you at a distance. Because that day, the thing you did that day, that shit was fucked up. I'll stay over here. Is it more painful to love them from afar, in peace, with peace of mind, in good health? Or is it less painful to sit there while they're cruel to you, while they devalue you, while they make you question your value, your worth, while your hair falling out, while your skin is all fucked up, while your pressure going up, while your finances are depleting, while your energy is low? Which one hurts more? Replenishing yourself or continuously giving yourself? And then now keep in mind, when you've made the decision to love from afar, that means because you know when you love them up close, You're basically pouring into a cup with a hole in the bottom. They're insatiable. You're going to have to keep on pouring because they're not going to see you. They're not going to see you. You want them to. I know you want them to. It hurts so bad you just want them to. You're all poured out. Again, you may have missed it earlier when I said it, but I waited until it was a mustard seed of me left to recoup myself, rebuild myself, become more of myself again. Although I'm back and I'm better. I'm back and I'm better. Because if loving someone else means you have to deplete yourself, that means they're not loving you, they're not feeding you, they're not nourishing you, they're not pouring back into your cup. When you feel so exhausted and I'm talking about you ever took a 12-hour nap, then took a 12-hour nap, and then you woke up and you were still exhausted. Baby, that means it's time to make a move. When you got to drag yourself. I didn't know what exhausted was, and I work out. I didn't know what exhausted was until all my emotions just was like dust. That's what happens when you pour into the cup with the hole in the bottom. It's easier. It don't feel easy at first. It feels like loss at first until you realize what you've gained. You reclaim your dignity. You reclaim your value. You take your power back. And that's what I have for y'all tonight. I'm going to go ahead over here and I'm going to make my ground beef. And I hope y'all have a good night. Thank you for joining me. I'll be back again. All right. Again. All right, here.